Hey, I'm Jessica from Greenlight Bookstore. I'm actually the co-owner and events and marketing director at Greenlight. I can't actually go to the bookstore right now. Like most stores in Brooklyn, we're closed to do our part to help stop the spread of coronavirus. But we're still here. Our booksellers are working from home, and we're still doing what we do, which is creating connections around books.
Nobody here right now. I'm here because you can't be.
You can purchase books from greenlightbookstore.com. We can fulfill those through our website. And we're trying to do a little bit of hand selling from home so we can talk to you about the books we love. I can't actually pull a book off the shelf, but I've been looking around at my own shelves at the books that are resonating for me right now. The ones that I've been thinking about that I think kind of offer some insights on our present moment. The ones that I wish that I could tell people about and talk about. So I wanted to talk to you about 3 fiction titles today. The first one is The Heavens by Sandra Newman. This one probably looks a little bit different than what you get from the store. This is an advanced reading copy. I read this last year, and it was such a moving reading experience. I couldn't stop talking to people about it. The premise is a strange one, but it speaks to my weird sense, maybe you felt this too, that maybe we're in the wrong timeline, that this isn't the way things ought to be, that something has gone off the rails. It's maybe kind of a comic book idea that you could go back to a particular point and just change that one thing that would make everything go veer in the right direction again. This book sort of speaks to that fantasy. The main character lives in a version of the present day in New York. But when she sleeps, she finds herself in Elizabethan era England, and she interacts with other characters, and it's an absolutely realistic experience. And then when she wakes up, the world is a little bit different than she remembered it. So she starts to have this sense that she is actually living in 2 time periods, and that the life that she's experiencing in her dreams is affecting the present. So it's a fantasy. There is a sense that we're not sure whether this character's perception of reality is true or not, but it's a really fascinating look at just those little differences that give you a clue to what our reality is and how it might be different. And Sandra Newman is such an immersive writer in terms of scene by scene evocative writing. She can write someone walking through a room, or she can write about a group of people having a conversation at a party, and it's completely the way it really is. It's a fantastic reading experience, whether you're a fantasy reader or not. Fantasy readers will of course love it, but anyone who wants a really immersive read that sort of gets at the dreamlike qualities that our lives can have right now. The next one doesn't necessarily need me to hand sell it. Richard Powers' The Overstory has been one of our best-selling books of the past year. Richard Powers is one of my, maybe top 5 headcanon authors. He's just always incredible. I feel like every book of his takes a pivot, a lever, and changes the way that you look at the world. This one in particular changed the way I looked at trees. Trees are fully fledged characters in the Overstory, and when I walked outside for the first time after reading this, I had the sense of being in the presence of fellow creatures when I walked down and saw the street trees of Brooklyn, and that had never happened before. I feel like in some ways this is Richard Powers' angriest book. He's written often about environmental issues, and I feel like he finally is just so sick of us not acknowledging what humans have done to destroy the environment and the climate and the planet. So he just kind of pulls out all the stops and lets loose with this one. If Richard Powers wants us to learn anything from trees, he wants us to learn the ability to be still and to do nothing, or to slow down. We always want to do more and find more solutions and be active, and some part of this book is saying the best thing you can do is just be still and do nothing. So pretty sure that's something that can resonate with a lot of us right now. So The Overstory, a great book for when you're at home. And then the last book is just a treat. This is the Books of Earthsea, the complete illustrated edition by Ursula Guin. It's obviously a really enormous volume. I feel like having a book like this on your shelf is like having a well-stocked pantry. You are not going to run out. This is the collected Earthsea series. It's published in little paperback form as well, but this has beautiful illustrations by Charles Vess that actually acknowledge the ethnic diversity that's always been there in Ursula Guin's book, but has almost never been there in illustrations of the book. It also has some extra stories. It has some extra nonfiction pieces by Le Guin, and it's such a wonderful opportunity to immerse yourself in the world of Earthsea. All of the islands, all of the cultures, all of the magic. And Le Guin does so much with gender and power and ideas about what makes a good life and what's worth living and what matters, at the same time as having really, really exciting stories. They're just super thought-provoking. I read this whole collection over about a week a couple of months ago when I had some time off, and it was just such a beautiful alternate world place to spend time. So I definitely recommend it if you have some time and you want something to really, really sink into, and it'll last you a while. So that's Handselling for today. Hope you enjoy it. Take a look at greenlightbookstore.com/Jessica if you want to see a list of all of these books and opportunities to buy them. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram at Greenlight, BKLYN, to see more.